Hello, hello, hello. So, it's interesting. This article was written September 16th, this Monday. This Monday.
Okay, here, come on. We'll be back. Yeah, come on.
Excuse me, I am. I do have my television on at the same time. Nonetheless, this article was just. I just discovered this article, I should say, Monday, which is the date that you see here. However, Nick DeVito wrote this about 10 years ago. About my previous college. Says that ASA students were victimized by massive schemes to draw millions of dollars of federal and state financial aid at the students' expense. There is currently an outstanding loan to them, and the school is has disappeared. I tried to go to the campus and speak to somebody to get some documents, and they are literally gone. They no longer exist. It's gone. How does a whole school just disappear? It says that the school lied about its being accredited by a federally recognized accrediting agency. These representations are misleading because ASA has obtained these credentials only by means of fraud. It does not, in fact, have the requirements necessary for accreditation or authorization. And now they're gone. They are literally gone. Gone. No longer there. No longer in existence. If you pay attention to these names, I can't even pronounce some of these names. But what I can tell you is that these were Russian individuals. Now, I'm in school again. I hope that the school I'm in is actually a real school. I don't know. I thought ASA was a real school. I mean, it was real classes. Oh my God. And the fact that they no longer exist blows my freaking mind. And now I'm having difficulties. Well, I wouldn't say difficulties. Be careful with my words. I'm having challenges with receiving something that I'm clearly qualified for because I decided to pursue my studies at ASA. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And I found out a week before starting at my new school that I was not eligible for federal aid. And I'm like, that's so odd that I'm not eligible for federal aid because number one, I'm not working. Number two, I was a ward of the state, meaning a former foster child. Number three, those two things in and of itself qualify me for this assistance. So what's going on? And they're like, oh, you have a degree already, so you don't qualify. A degree from ASA, but now ASA doesn't seem to be an accredited school. They're like, oh, well, you got it. They were accredited. What? Huh? What are you talking about? They are not accredited right now. So you tell me what I got then is good right now? But I can't go there and get any information from them right now. And they sent me to all these different websites and gave me all these phone numbers. Well, contact the federal government and find out if they report it, because by law they're supposed to report this, and they didn't report anything. And I have emails and emails and emails right now. Matter of fact, I'll go into my email right now of me contacting Boom. Government. Now, I did speak with somebody. But here we go. This is me contacting. I was a student here at ASA. I'm requesting the data that they provided to you. Scorecard is a federal government agency. And, yeah, I need this data from my new college. And they're like, yeah, we don't got no information. And I'm like, what? You don't have any information? What do you mean you don't have any information? What do you mean? So apparently whoever sued them must have gotten paid. I don't even know. I was advised to contact a lawyer at this point and to possibly pursue a lawsuit and also contact the Inspector General. But they no longer exist, so I don't even know what pursuing a lawsuit would do, because how are you gonna find these people? They're probably in Russia. They probably was laundering money. Like, who knows what these people were doing? But whatever they did, according to what I heard from my new school, they've been doing it from 1985, and the lady seems so shocked that these Europeans, Russia is in Europe, right? That these Europeans would be over here on this America soil and actually like committing fraudulent activities. Like, Europe over here in America committing fraud? How absurd, how unheard of that Europeans would do that here in America. How absurd that people from the Caucasus Mountains would be doing this in America. How odd. Oh my gosh, like, this is the land of the free. This is where liberty reigns. This is a place where, Indigenous people are safe and we are able to prosper. And Indigenous people were never, ever, ever prisoners of war. Slavery never was legal. Slavery was never of existence. Like, no. Oh my gosh, not here in America. Not here, ma'am. How dare you insinuate these horrendous things? And sorry, we don't want to assist you. How dare you want to actually further your education more? Take the paper that you got from ASA College and make it happen. Make something happen, ma'am. Make something out of nothing. I felt like the lady I interacted with today thought I was like asking her to cover my tuition. It was really strange. It was a lady who looked like me, but a lady who, I don't know if she really knows her true identity, because many people who are melanated don't know. Some people do, some people don't. It's just, you just never know until you're actually having a conversation, whether a person is aware of their true identity or not, or whether they just accept these misnomers such as African American. And since we're talking about African American, I had this brother, and I have to go to this website right here. Since I'm on this subject, I had this brother who I can clearly see is just, I don't even know what to say he's doing with his life. But and it's not for me to judge at all. But he was like flirting, and it's like, okay, sir, what are we talking about? And he's like, well, this is somebody in the school. This is a staff member in the school who works in public safety. And he's like, well, I don't even remember our initial conversation, if I'm gonna be honest, but I do remember sharing this website with him. Let's go over these definitions. Identity. Evidence, sameness, the fact that a subject, person, or thing before a court is the same as it is represented, claim, or charged to be. Corporations are persons, as the word is used in the first clause of the 14th Amendment. Therefore, if you're operating with the 14th Amendment, you are saying that you are a corporation. There is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. American, by definition, in Webster's 1828 American Dictionary of the English Language, and 1936 Webster's Unabridged 20th Century Dictionary, an Aboriginal or one of the various copper-colored natives found on the American continent by the Europeans. That is the original application of the name. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting? Your nationality card is going to change on you in your pocket. If you are not able to be who you say you are and exercise your unalienable rights of birth and defend your allodial identification, do not apply for this card. Okay? Be who you are. And that's one thing I am. I am that I am. And it's a very, I want to say, murky waters. However, no state, federal, or local government can deny your claim of who you say you are. The corporate states are not only corporations, they are foreign corporations. Foreign? From where? Not Europe. Oh my gosh. How could Europe be operating here on this soil? Right here. Oh my goodness. How absurd. A state's jurisdiction and local municipality jurisdiction is quasi-national. Mores, Aboriginal, Indigenous, natural people matters are national and international. There exists no jurisdiction over the natural people. Whoa, now that makes sense. Why they don't want people to identify as natural people. Why they want people to be identified as corporations and list their names in all caps. And they try to play that game. The birth certificate has been used as an instrument of human trafficking. Interesting that all the human trafficking things that have happened are coming to the light now. You think the small people that's doing those atrocities got those ideas from nowhere? I don't know. These are things that has been happening on such a larger scale. And back to, because this can be a very interesting rabbit hole, so to speak. It goes so deep. But here is everything in a nutshell. First of all, let's check out the proclamations of the states. Let's do that. Let's see where those are. They are here. Public records. Oh, nope, I passed it. Let's go back. Because people like to act like it doesn't exist when it does. There's Atlanta City. Whereas the Moorish Americans, whose ancient forefathers are the mothers and fathers of human family, stand in these days as a comedy of descendants from the ancient Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, and were permitted by the old pharaohs of Kemet to transfers from East Africa and later formed kingdoms extending from the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, the Atlantic islands, unto the present-day continental Americas. And whereas the Moorish Americans are teaching the people their true nationality and divine creed, that they may become better citizens and know that they are not Negroes, they are not colored folk, they are not black people, nor Afros, because those names, nor are they African Americans, because those names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, lasted until 1865, and of course African American is a name that was given after 1865, In this era, however, of time, all nations are seeking peace. The indigenous Moorish peoples of the Americas are now united to link themselves with the family of nations. And the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America, have formed a sovereign theocratic government and guided by the command principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice through virtue of the universal right to self-determination, as well as with the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, which Obama did. Yeah, the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People already existed in the United Nations, but Obama made sure that America signed on to that declaration while he was in office. But y'all be like, what did he do for the melanated people? We don't know what he did. We don't know. Interesting. On January 8th, 1886, Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina and became the first patriot of his Moorish American people. In 1912, he was anointed El Hajjaj Sharif Abdul Ali by the head of Egypt and holy city of Mecca to return to the United States as the last prophet and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans. And on January 15, 1865, slavery was abolished in the United States with the congressional ratification of the 13th Amendment. The Moorish Americans, through self-determination, are unfolding as a pure and clean nation. They are who their forefathers were yesterday. And here, this is in 2013. C.T. Martin, a member of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, humbly requests the patrons of all true American citizens to assist the Moorish Americans in their magnanimous task of uplifting fallen humanity, and hereby proclaim January 8th, 15, 2013 as Moorish America Week in the city of Atlanta. Here's another one. City of Chicago. Proclamation. City of North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Proclamation. That was 2012. That was 2012. So now here we are in 2024. Do you really think the Europeans are happy about this? But these people know. And it's people that knew then, they know now. They know. They know the truth. So, when I say I am that I am, I am that I am. I know who I am. And I just need to be me. And that's what I be. And some people, they want me to be other things. So they want to use their color of law to try to project these things. And I just still shine and be who the heck I am. And I think I don't even think I know I do it with such love. I know I do it with such peace. I know I do it the way it is supposed to be done. I know that I am the hope of my ancestors. And I offer grace. I offer love. But I don't tolerate and just accept nonsense. And people try to throw their nonsense at me. I'd be like, no thank you. No thank you. Letter from George Washington to the Sultan. Let's check this out. Let's get some American history circulating here. 1789. Y'all know who George Washington is, right? That's okay. We're going to keep it. Let's open this up. Sultan of Morocco. You're like, what does this have to do with Morocco? Well, the country, Morocco now, did not exist in 1789. So if George Washington was writing a letter to Muhammad ibn Abdullah, the Sultan of Morocco, it wasn't the country Morocco, it was the Empire of Morocco. And guess where the Empire of Morocco existed? Right here, this land that they call America now. Since the date of the letter, which the late Congress by their president Addressed to your Imperial Majesty, the United States of America have thought proper to change their government and institute a new one, agreeable to the Constitution, of which I have the honor herewith to enclose a copy. The time necessarily employed in this arduous task and the disarrangements occasioned by so great through peaceable a revolution will apologize and account for your majesty not having received those regularly advised marks of attention from the United States, which the friendship and magnanimity of your conduct towards them afforded reason to expect. The United States have unanimously appointed me to supreme executive authority in this nation. Your Majesty's letter of August 17, 1788, which by reason of the dissolution of the late government remains unanswered and has been delivered to me. I have also received the letters which your Imperial Majesty has been so kind as to write in favor of the United States to the Bashars of Tunis and Tripoli, and I present to you the sincere acknowledgments and thanks of the United States for this important mark of your friendship for them. We greatly regret the hostile deposition of those regencies towards this nation who have never injured them is not to be removed on terms of our power to comply with. Within our territories, there are no mines, whether of gold or silver, that this young nation, just recovering from the waste and dissolution of a long war, has not as yet had time to acquire riches by agriculture and commerce, but our soil is bountiful. That was back in the 1700s. I would dare say that this bountiful soil now has certainly produced riches. Okay? Yes. Useful to our friends. The United States. So this is George Washington writing the Sultan. The Sultan was here on this land. Let's continue. He's apologizing for the hostileness of the other people. Where are we at right now in 2024? I'll tell you where we are. We are where an Indigenous woman is about to sit governing the United States of America. That's where we are. And people are really upset about this, especially some Europeans and some ignorant melanated people. But nonetheless, this is happening. And we can only just enjoy the results of it happening. So let me break it down to you from the documents of American history. Let me break it down to you. Since some people are so confused by the history. Although those who know. How America was even born was when the old Moroccan Empire was falling apart. And we assisted some of the Europeans in putting together what is now known as the United States of America. Let's talk about the Statue of Liberty really quick. It's an icon of liberty in America. The statue was manifested in the metal copper. Copper being the alchemical metal for the planet Venus. The original tone of the statue underneath the patina is brown, as in a copper penny. The statue was a gift from the Frenchman, Freeman, and is symbolic of the true American woman. The American woman is the root of the human family. Copper corresponds to the copper-colored natives, Moors, Al-Moroccans, the original people. Note the correlation of the word Al-Moroccan and American. So back to the formulation of what we call the United States of America. Mm-hmm. 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 It was done with the government that was here before this one came into existence. Let's talk about Aboriginal Indigenous people a bit and the rights of Indigenous people, which is international law. And the international community is in support of, and they affirm the truth regarding Aboriginal and Indigenous people. This document, as well as the Declaration of Human Rights and the Declarations of the Right of a Child, were intended and were supposed to be decimated into public schools and public institutions. But where are they? They were not decimated into public schools and public institutions as of yet. Obama assisted to the end that he recently signed the Declaration of Indigenous people. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what Kamala does. I bet you it's coming into the schools now, baby. I bet you it's going to be in the schools now. I'm expecting these next 8 years to be fantastic. And then I'm expecting another Indigenous woman to follow. I think if we have 3 Indigenous women back to back, like the 8, then another 8, that's 16, and then another 8, like totally America shall be what it was originally designed to be. Okay? Prior administrators have not signed the documents. The proclamations are further proof and bring to the forefront that so-called Indians are not the Aboriginal Indigenous people by name. America is not India. And at the time Christopher Columbus supposedly discovered America, his discovery was on the shores of Haiti. America was already a heavy populated continent or juristic society with established government. America is the largest continent on the earth plane, and to this day it is the most sought after place because it's well known to others as the heartland of civilization. Evidence and congressional records. America is the Moroccan Empire, the world's trade center. Thus, New York has been coined the Empire State. The World's Trade Center building was a memoriam, little tongue tied, of this truth. It's great to know who you are. As without knowing where you came from, you cannot effectively know where the heck you're going. Thus, be sure not to repeat the same history. Once you know who you are, you must be who you are. This is called Declaration of Self, declaring a nationality of utmost importance because it is what makes political, social, and economic distinctions. Man, know thyself. It has been said that man does not know by being told. You have to experience it. You have to live it. The proclamations are not the source of truth. They corroborate and affirm, as does any declaration or proclamation. The genuine authenticity is found in your heart, in the core of your being. Ooh. I don't know why I don't know. This that magic that you don't want to play with. This that truth that is, that be, that here we are, 2024. We're about to see some amazing things happen. And all I can say is thank you. All I can say is thank you. I'm grateful. That's all I can say. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. Let's see, letter to the mothers. It's about uplifting the women. Why are the mothers being attacked? This is from Suliam Bay, servant of mother. I'm going to read this aloud, and then I'm going to publish this during this full moon and allow it to serve who it serves. Islam mothers, I'm reaching out to you briefly to say a few words. This is from a humble son who endeavors to be noble to the cause of serving mother in whatever capacity. I am your servant. I first would like to say it is most distressing to see mothers being steered to division with her sisters by an alternate energy. This activity is not new, and I have unfortunately had to watch it happen repeatedly and step aside as mother could not hear my words. Although all mothers and some who are simply standing by have been divided against each other by alternate energy, many mothers are aware of this, however, will not speak. Mothers are constantly being pulled, almost sometimes into the fray with the intent to do the dirty work of disingenuous energies, and must learn to refuse to injure their sisters, especially in a public venue. This is where many of you find yourself unbeknownst to you. There are simple lessons that mothers must be learned, as told to me by a noble elder mother. If there is a mother in the mix, go to her. Never take sides against your sisters. Know that this is uplifting of fallen humanity is about uplifting mother, which you will learn is the last thing many sons really want to happen. This will only be resolved when mothers come together, as it is you who created the fall to begin with. Ooh, how true. With that said, I say please be careful, as there's many untoward energies around you mothers that is not in harmony with this, which is what Noble Drew Ali brought and was murdered for. Consider and reflect on why there are those who are advising mothers to recreate a process that is already in place, thereby a waste of your energy. Ask yourself, why are you not united with elder mothers who have been active in this activity of fallen humanity for years? Ask yourself, why are the mothers who are active talked about negatively as if they are taking advantage of people, while known sons who are in fact taking advantage of people no one talks about? Ask yourself, if this is truly about lineal, descendant, bloodline, and heritage, why are the mothers and their babies being encouraged to take a commercial route by sons, which goes against Noble Drew Ali's directive that there is no need for the 14th and 15th Amendment for the salvation of my people? This is the uniting of Asia, the uplifting and awakening of her mother. So why are mothers being attacked? Mothers who do not know who you have around you, and this may well be detrimental to you, as it has been to other mothers who was also moved away from the protection of group sisters. I say these things for you with the hope that you have eyes to see and ears to hear, void of division based on personal observation, trusting that you embrace your sisterhood so that fallen humanity can be lifted up. Assalamu alaikum. Sumale Bay, servant of mother. Interesting. So this is a time, and I'm going to go here really briefly because I want you guys to just I shared this today with some individuals. As you can see, Takara Bay speaks out about ACS agencies and another mother too. I threatened to sue these people. They looked at me as an opponent. They didn't treat me as a mother. They didn't treat me as a human being. They didn't do any of that. They treated me as an opponent. They were very vicious in their dealings to me. They wanted me to go to parenting, even though there was no concern with my parenting skills. They wanted me to, I don't even know what the other things they asked me to do, to tell you the truth, because it's been 4 years now since that incident. But what I'm dealing with at this time is my teenager, because he was separated from me at a very tragic time, where he needed the most to be with me so that he could be consoled, so that he could get the therapy, so that we can grieve together as a family. We were denied that. And we had all these other people that we did not know that was separating us and telling us this and telling us that. Eventually, they returned him to me. And when they did return him to me, he was damaged when they returned him to me. He had made associations outside of the home with gang members. He had been exposed to different sexual activities. He had been abused in the several homes that he was in. He was in 5 different homes. One home, the guy choked him, literally, and they had to physically immediately remove him. They never pressed charges on this person. All they did was take the children out of the home temporarily, made the mother, because it was the foster mother's boyfriend who did it, get rid of him, and then they put the kids right back into the home. They never charged her anything, and that was unfair.
What message would you like to share with the public advocate Letitia James, the ACS Commissioner Gladys Carry-On, the elected officials, about your experience as a parent dealing with the child welfare system?
I want to share with them that this is serious. This is affecting our young men. This is affecting our young ladies. This is not just something to push around and put to the side. They are in a position to help us. They are in a position to make changes. They must make the changes that need to be done. It's enough. We're doing enough cleaning up. The crime, the teenage pregnancy, all of these things are because of what's going wrong in these agencies that's designed to help the families. They're there to help us. They're not there to separate us. And they already done all the studies. They know that when you're separating a mother from their child, you're doing more harm to the mother and also to the child. So we can avoid these things. Instead of worrying about how we gonna fix them, let's avoid them. Let's not create the issues that are prevalent. Let's correct them and erase them and have a better agency to actually support families, because we do need some support now and then. It does take a village to raise a child. Not no one person, not no 2 people can do it. It takes a village, because 1 person or 2 people cannot be where that child is at all times. We rely on our police officers. We rely on our doctors. We rely on our school teachers. We rely on all of them. So we all need to work together. And whatever position we have, we need to do what must be done to fix it.
What message would you like to share with other parents out there?
I want the parents to know that they're not alone. You know, it feels lonely sometimes when you're dealing with this, because they have, you know, their supervisor, they got their lawyers, they got the worker, you know, they got this advocate that works for them, and all these different people have one mission. And that's to keep the company running smoothly, okay? That mission is not really to help you or to help your child. They want to keep their job so they can feed their children. They're concerned about themselves, not realizing that we all are affected by this. Because my child might go through the system and be jacked up, but he might be right next to your child on the train. You know what I'm saying? So they cannot have that as their focus. You understand? The child must come first. The family must come first. That has to be what they focus on.
So what would you advise a parent to do if they're in this situation?
To keep on. You know, parenting doesn't end.
is you don't clock in, you don't clock out. It's something that you do 24/7. There's no breaks in parenting. As soon as you decide that you're going to carry that child and you're going to push that child out and bring it into the world, you on duty all the time. So you can't give up when you go through a challenge. You have to keep on. And if you get tired, you take care of yourself. That's number one. Okay, as a parent, I learned that. That's number one, because I was putting so much into trying to do for my son that I began to slack off as a parent. And that affected the things that I needed to do. So you have to, as a parent, make sure you take care of yourself. Eat. Even though it's hard to eat when your child is out there with God knows who doing God knows what. Feed yourself, take care of yourself, love yourself, and continue to love your child. Don't listen to what people tell you. Listen to your gut, do what's in your heart, and keep on fighting for your child, because you brought that child in the world and you're responsible for them.
What changes do you think need to be made at this particular time with the foster care agencies?
There's a lot of changes that need to be made. First of all, the people that deal directly with the families need to be properly trained, okay? They shouldn't just do a little couple of years and be faced with all these issues that we're dealing with, okay? We're dealing with a lot of different issues on a lot of different levels in our communities. And they have to be aware of that. They have to be conscious of that. They cannot automatically be trained to think that the parents are the issue here, or even that the children are the issue once they come to a certain age, because it switches. Like in my situation, it went from them accusing me of being negligent to them accusing my child of being a delinquent. Why are you accusing us of anything? Okay, if there's an issue and we need support, then support us. But if not, don't point the finger and say that, you know what I'm saying, we are something that we're not. We all human beings, you know? So, I think parents just need to do what they need to do, and the social workers need to know what it is to be a parent. They don't need to read that in a book. They need to experience parenthood, because parenthood, even though they have these books now, they really don't address everything that you're going to come up against. There's different stages in the child development. When they're a certain age, you have these issues. When they get bigger, you got bigger issues. And they have to be trained how to deal with those issues, and how to deal with people, and how to deal with the issues that's in the community. You have people in the community don't know where they're going to live at, don't know what they're going to eat, don't know how they're going to wash their clothes. These are things that are happening in our community. And they need to be aware of that. It's not like they're coming into a gated community where, everybody has their degree. Even the people with degrees don't have jobs, okay? So it's not even an issue of education. It's an issue of this not being dealt with how they should be dealt with. And they have to be aware of those things, They have to be aware. They have to know what they're dealing with so that they can better assist them.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time and your interview.
Thank you.